anything can happen because I definitely didn't see Rudy Gobert getting traded, right? Now, speaking of Gobert, he goes to the Timberwolves. Did you think the Timberwolves made the smart decision on going all in for another center?
No, I said this our first podcast back a couple weeks ago, and I made the comparison. I said this can turn out like the Celtics Nets trade of what was that 10 years ago now? Because I don't as great of me. I think Rudy Gobert's overrated in a
Mm-hmm.
sense. I like Rudy, but I just he gets played off the floor at times. As great of a defensive center as he is,
Mm-hmm.
you put two big guys. This is not the '90s. This isn't even the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you put them in the pick and roll, and they're going to have major issues. And then again, it's Minnesota. Um, it's if you were to tell me you're putting Cat and Gobert in Golden State, or you're putting them in Miami, you're putting them in Boston, somewhere that an organization that's stable, I'd say okay, let's see. But when you're putting it in an organization that hasn't proved anything over in their franchise's history,
Mm-hmm.
I truly think that Utah might come out of this looking like it was highway robbery.
Well, yeah, and the thing too, as you mentioned, like the 10 years ago when the Nets or yeah, I think it was 10 years ago when the Nets made the trade, or yeah, when the Nets made the trade for KG and Paul Pierce, they traded so much and it ended up being huge for the Celtics and the Nets. It took them a while to recover, right? And I mean, I didn't like the trade either because we've seen this. I think the Sixers tried that a few years ago when they signed Al Horford and they had Joel Embiid and it just didn't work. However,
Mm-hmm.
it works for the Celtics somehow, even though they started Robert Williams and Al Horford, and that seemed to work great. But again, it is the Timberwolves. They don't make the smartest decisions. I know they're on the come up. They have Anthony Edwards. They have Karl-Anthony Towns. They have a solid point guard in D'Angelo Russell, who actually made an all-star team a few years ago. But I think it is a little questionable. I understand too. I've heard some other people say, what else were the Timberwolves going to do? Because not a lot of free agents want to come to Minnesota. I understand that, but I did think they went all in for a guy that is a great defensive player. But I feel like I don't know if it's going to mash well with Karl-Anthony Towns. And I'm assuming. Oh, sorry. What were you going to say?
No, and also to me, I look at it. I don't. They're not even a championship contender with the move. So to
Mm-hmm.
me, I mean, you look at, and I know we're probably going to get into this, but this upcoming year, you have the Clippers coming back. With their
Mm-hmm.
start. I mean, you have teams getting better and better. To me, I just they're a top maybe 6 seed in the West. Well,
Yeah.
no, they'll be a top 6 seed in the West, but it's like to me they're a first or second round exit, and